Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave. Today we're going to try a playthrough of Knights Over Stalingrad from Legion Wargames, game designed by Dan Monette. Just remember, this is a pre-production game and still, in some cases probably considered in design mode. You can find it on Legion Wargames website. It is in a CPO, so that's a customer pre-order. You get to 250 on the CPOs, and then they put it into the final production stages where they start to, finalize all the artwork and get it to the printers and, get it ready for release. So we're in that stage now where it's early in the CPO process. Couple things, the setup, I've kind of started it already, so we don't have to go everything, but it's fairly simple. You start with deciding, what nationality you want to fly for, and then what squadron you want. For me, I picked the BF-109s, Gs, and I'm flying out of the Morisovsky JG-3 Stoffel. So that's our airfield here at Morisovsky. So that's where we're going to fly out of. You have different counters on the morale track and keeping track of campaign points and all those things. We got our weather markers here, our turn track. The earliest I can start is 24 November, so that's where we're going to start. Cup for mixing things. And then when you start this, you have 8 aircraft that we can pick. Only 3 of them, the BF-109 can have the gondola. That's like gun pods, I believe. And so it gives them more firepower, but it weighs them down so they're not as maneuverable. So I drew 3 of those, and I drew 5 of the standard 109Gs. And then on them, I'll show you here in the rules, they have a little marker, a 12, which is a ace, and that's also the size of the die we're going to use. A 4-sided with the 10 is the veteran. We have an 8, which is experienced, and then we have a green 6, which is the green pilot. Okay. Also, on the markers themselves, they have an arrow in the front that designates the forward firing gun, and if you have a dorsal gun, rear gunner, then they'll have an arrow in the back for that. And then we're going to have if they're Soviets or Germans, the different colors. The firepower rating is here. So in this case, this plane is a B. This one's a C on his firepower. And then we also have our damage markers and the die rolls to score hits. And we'll go through all that while we're doing playing the game. Some of the things are very similar to Aces of Valor, which like I mentioned in the first look, I played that and have videos on that, but you'll see fairly early there's also some differences in the game. So not everything is exactly the same as Aces of Valor. So I think Dan's tried to give us a little kind of the bones of the game are similar, but then he's got things that are definitely different that we have to pay attention to. Okay, also have combat rounds, which are down here on the bottom, which it's hard to see with my camera view. And then we have a pilot roster. So you fill it out. Each of the aircraft have an identifier on them. It is right here, and I missed this. Dan actually, I said something about it, and he said, yeah, look on and you have a B or a G, whatever it is. Okay. So I went through, and their experience levels are, what we went through, and then I gave each of my pilots a name. I tried to get them with the letter except for B, because if you guys have watched many of my videos with fighter aircraft, I'm a big fan of Bruno Stockel, and so I have one of Stockel's relatives flying, and he actually happens to be our ace, with the 109G with the gondola. So he's the only ace we drew. So if we had not drawn an ace, there's a rule in there that you can pick. You can get rid of a plane and pick something else to get you an ace. Over here we have our mission cards. We have our in-flight event cards. I have post-mission cards, fate cards, and dogfight cards. Okay, so the setup really, there you go. We got a few counters. I got some dice. I'm not going to have an 8-sided die, so when I do have some 8 by planes, I'm going to use a 10-sided die, and if I roll a 9 or 10, I'll just re-roll it to get to the 8. I do have a 12-sided die. I have my 6-sided die. If for any reason I have to roll a 3-sided, then I'll just, I can do that math with the 6-sided die. So I think other than that, we're okay. We have this handy dandy sequence of events and also some freedom of actions, which we'll talk about when we get there a little bit. What I'm hoping to do with this playthrough is get a flavor of the different types of missions that are in here. So we have, fighter missions, escort missions, and then we'll have ground attack missions, things like that. So when we pick this, the first thing we do is we go through and we find in the fighter mission deck, these are date specific missions that are historical. So you can see in some of them, they're like one day this happens and you go to this, it gives you a different objective square. In some of them, there are a range of dates like 23 November through 4 December, it's going to happen here. Then on 5 December, it moves here. So this simulates things that are happening in the ground war. This was the German army. Then we have the cap for the Romanian army, air attack on Soviet forces, and the cap for the Italian army. So we have different ones here that we can choose from. Okay, and we'll do that too. I want to take one of these. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. They're all available to me from the very beginning. So, but I think we'll draw a mission card to get started with, and then on our mission card, the other thing I have to do is I need to roll for my ace and find out what his skill is, and I can put that in as pilot note over here or write it out to the side, because there's not a marker that you put on the pilot, but I need to make sure I can write it here under his experience level even. So let's do that first. Let's roll a 10-sided die. And we got a 1. Okay, and a 1 is Eagle Eyes. He gets +1 die roll modifier to detection advantage check die rolls. So he's going to be Eagle Eyes. So we'll make that little notation on there. When I assign pilots, they'll get tick marks. We have places to mark their victories and pilot notes and all that good stuff in case they get wounded or anything. And then we have their missions. So they start out with 0 CPs. We'll find out how they do in post-mission point purchases and those things. So we'll write our mission in when we get it over here. Okay, so we're going to kind of walk our way through this a little bit. I'll try not to make too many mistakes. I can't guarantee it, but we're going to try it. So the campaign length is the shorter campaign. Let's see, for that is, I forget, 10 days. So let's just, but we can change. That's not, my concern is not really length, but right now I would say it's a 10-day campaign. Okay. We did our unit selection. We sorted mission cards. I did that. Place our aircraft in the ready box. I have the 8 aircraft in the ready box. Draw our dogfight IL2 combat cards. So we have dogfight cards. So I get 3 dogfight cards. The first one is Sandwich, counterattack. Initiative, differential 2 or less. Pilot has a wingman. Each aircraft lead rolls experience die. High die wins. Higher experience wins. Ties if still tied maneuver fails. So that's one player card for us. The second one is rolling scissors, avoid an attack. So each aircraft rolls experience die, high die wins, experience die wins. It tells you what happens there. So we have that card. And then our third card is defensive split, counterattack. Pilot has a wingman. Okay, so we have some cards here that we can use during the game. All right, optional aces, I did that. Optional draw a fate card. Okay, let's draw a fate card and see what happens with the fate card. This is an optional rule, but I think they're kind of cool. Swirling miss, return to base. The player may play the card after the final round of combat is completed at the mission location. The player's flight is immediately returned to base without incurring any die rolls or in-flight event cards. The aircraft are required to land per the actual rules, per the normal rules. Discard after use. So we have a fate card. We're going to hang on to that. And so we're set there. Okay, pre-mission phase. We roll for weather. And this is on chart A2. Now, like I talked in the beginning, I won't be showing you all the charts. Especially a couple that Dan mentioned not to show. He's doing that because the game is in such an early stage, we can't give away, everything that makes up the game. So you're going to have to trust me on the charts. So we're going to start with our weather table. We roll a D6. So I got a D6 here. And we're going to roll and see what we get. And we get a 6. Heavy clouds. Okay, so we're going to have heavy clouds. So we have light clouds. Here we go. Heavy cloud. It's this dark blue. Got the heavy clouds on it. So we have heavy clouds for the day. Escort missions must roll pilot experience die roll for rendezvous, 6 or more for success. If failed, both flights proceed to target. Escorts do not participate in first combat round. Normal thereafter. Combat lasts only 2 rounds. So we'll be at 2 rounds for that. And a -2 die roll modifier on flank attacks and -1 die roll modifier landing on A7. So I'm going to move my combat rounds down to 2 so I don't forget. So it's always going to be 2. Okay, calculate airfield damage. We don't have any yet. Draw a mission card or fly a mission for the counter. All right, German fighter mission. Here we go. Free hunt Italians. 3 fighters. We can take 1 extra for -3 mission points, so I'm not going to do that. We'll just take 3 fighters. Fly to sector B2, and upon arrival, roll on C4, C5, or C6, or not at all, then return to base. Rendezvous with 2 Italian MC-200s at sector D3, and on the outbound leg. Any Italians return to base before any other actions once the flight flies south of sector row 3. Okay, so we're going to fly to sector B2. So that's going to be our target waypoint. So up here, B2. So we got to go from here to there. All right, and then when we get there, we're going to roll on one of these charts to find out what happens. And I'll describe what that's going to be when we get there. Then we're going to have a rendezvous at sector D3. So D3 right here. We're going to rendezvous, and there's going to be 2 Italian MC-200s at that sector, and they can continue with me till I go south. Once I go south, they go home. They scamper off. So for me, if I want to keep them with me, I can keep them right along that road, but as soon as I turn to go south, they go back. All right. So now we have our current mission. All right. Next up. Determine if aborting the mission. We are not aborting the mission. Select pilots for the mission. Okay, so this is my choice. I think I will take, I'll take my ace, Stockel. He's going to go. I'm going to take 1 veteran pilot in a 109G and 1 experienced pilot. Okay, so I got a 12, a 10, and an 8. All right. Determine need for reinforcements. Nope, I don't have any need. So let me write down what we're doing here. This is a free hunt Italians. Okay, we're going to flip it over here. We're taking Stockel. Give him a tick mark. We're taking I, which is Ivers. And we're taking K, which is Klein. Okay, so I got all three of my pilots got tick marks. They're going out on the flight. Okay, so we're ready to start. Flight phase, mission movement, diagonal moves, and flat. Mission event checks after that. Okay, so we can fly in a couple things you'll notice. One is there's no fuel. We're not worried about fuel. Like in Aces of Valor, if your airfields were way over here and you had to cross the lines and get over here and get back, sometimes you didn't have enough fuel. You had to stop at an airfield that was closer. We don't have that that I've seen in this game. This is strictly, it's a small area. We have plenty of fuel, so that it's not a concern for the game. In Aces of Valor, you could only move straight, side to side. You could not move diagonally. In this game, we can move diagonally, but there is a penalty. When you do your event check, you add 1 to the die roll. So there's more possibility something's going to happen when you do that. What that simulates is by moving diagonally that these planes are faster and you can move that way. Now, if you're escorting bombers, you can't do diagonal moves. It's only when you're as a flight of fighters. But this first move, we're not going to go diagonal yet. We're going to move 1 this way. Okay. So we move. Now we do a mission event check. And I'm going to get the rules over so I don't miss something here. And get myself, again, like I said, I don't want to mess up anything. Okay, we didn't do any diagonal movement. So now we're going to do a roll on chart B1. We're going to cross-reference. So this is a flight event check table. And what we do is we look at the row numbers. So rows 1 through, so we're in row 5. So we're going to be in rows 4 to 8. We're going to roll 1d10. And this is going to tell us what happens here. And we rolled a 3. And a 3 is no event. So there's no event. Nothing happens there. So I don't have to do anything else because there's going to be no flight event. Okay, mission card instructions, we're not there yet. Rendezvous, intercept, we're not there. Mission location, movement, non-home airfield or cauldron, mission abort, and return to base. We're not there, and there's no combat phase. So we're ready to go back and do our next move. Okay, now I'm going diagonal. Okay, so before I do that, I got to look at something because there's a note here. And this is what it says. A flight consisting solely of fighter and or heavy fighter aircraft can elect to move either horizontally, vertical, or diagonal. Okay, a flight that includes dive bomber, ground aircraft, transport, any of those guys may only move horizontal or vertical. Summary of modifications for diagonal movement. Roll on chart B1 for an event before initiating the mission, 7.4. So I got to check. 7.4 is mission movement into target sector. Okay, we're not at the target sector yet. We don't roll, if we're landing, we have to roll on it before we get there. +1 for possible in-flight events, +1 for flight event outcome table. Okay, so here we go. We're going to move diagonal right here. And now we go to chart B1. And there's a big note out here that says, if the player elects to move diagonally, they are required to add +1 to their die roll for possible in-flight events. Okay, on chart B1, and for the flight event outcome table on chart B2. So we're going to add 1 and see what we get. This time we get a 5, which is a 6. And we are on row 4 now. So we're still on 4 to 8, and a 6 is no event. Okay, so we got through that without getting an event. All right, we don't have anything else is happening. There's no flight event outcome yet. Let me check that. I want to make sure that I didn't just miss something. We do mission event check 7.2. Okay, I'm just checking. Flight event. Oh, I should have done that. No event, flight event. Oh, if we get a flight event, then we go to that. So there is no flight event. Okay, so I'm good. All right. It's not a lot. You just kind of got to get used to it. So here we go. We can move again. I'm trying to get there. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm going to diagonal again. And we got to roll. We got to add 1 to the die roll. So here we go. And we get, a 2. So no event. All right. So the Russians aren't up right now. We're cruising through this pretty good. Okay. So now we're ready to go for another flight event. Now this time we're getting ready to go into before initiating the mission. Roll on chart B1 for an event before initiating the mission. So we're going to move, and we're going to check for the flight event, and then we're going to be at the mission. So in 7.4, mission cards will specify the target sector. That's where we're getting to. When arriving at the target sector, complete the mission as stated instead of rolling for an event, unless we enter diagonally. For a diagonal movement, roll for an event prior to performing the mission. Okay, our mission, again, we get here and we fly to sector B2, and on B2, we automatically roll on table B2, the flight event outcome table. And that is going to tell us what's going to happen. And that's where this table, that's where C4, C5, or C6 happens. So if we get this, then we're going to have to roll to see what we're going to encounter. All right. So the first thing we do is we move, and I move diagonal. And now we're going to roll for a flight event outcome. We have to add 1. 10. Yes. So we got an in-flight event card. So something happens here now. So we pull this event card. Out of the sun. Mission aircraft surprise a flight of enemy fighters. +2 for every friendly aircraft rolling on the initiative track for the first turn. Do not roll on B3. Axis surprise. 1d3 plus 1, and then Soviet surprise 1d3 plus 1, 109. So 1 IAP. Okay. So we're going to hit these guys out of the sun, and we're going to get +2 for every friendly aircraft rolling on the initiative track. Okay. So for diagonal movement, roll for an event prior to performing the mission. For any combat generated, use the standard rules for a flight event and combat unless explicitly overridden by the card. In other words, roll on chart B3 after drawing enemy aircraft unless directed not to. Yeah. So we're not going to roll for the advantage check table because we caught them out of the sun. So we need to roll a D3. So here's how this will work. I got a 6-sided die. 1 and 2 is a 1, 3 and 4 is a 2, 5 and 6 is a 3. Okay, so we're going to roll that. and we get a 3. So that is a 2. So you get that plus 1. So there's actually 3 fighters that we're going to run into here. So let me find these fighters, and then we'll get ready, put them on the board. Okay, so for the Out of the Sun, in the new event cards, it's actually going to tell you to use chart C1 and you roll a D6. So I'm going to have 3 fighters, and I got to roll to find out which of the Russian squadrons they're coming from, the Soviet. So we're going to roll again, and we get a 6. That's not good. Oh, that is the 9 JAP, G-I-A-P. So they have Yak 1s and Lag 3s. So now, and I believe these guys are the crack pilots. All right, so I need to find, oops. All right, this is the squadron. It's the 9th Guard on the counter. They're all veterans and aces. So we're going to put them in the cup and mix it up. We're going to pull 3 out. The first one, well, luckily it's only a veteran. And, a second veteran. And, 3 veterans. I got lucky. So I didn't pull any of the aces. Wow. Okay. Well, a little bit of luck never hurt. Okay. So I got these 3 that we're going to be rolling for now to set up for the combat. Okay. So we have to determine combat and initiative ratings. These guys are 2 Yak 1s and a Lag 3. Now, I have the Out of the Sun, which is giving me +2 for each of my friendly aircraft on the initiative track. All right, I'll set that there for just a minute. So we're going to roll for the Russians' initiative first. So what we do is, we look, these guys are all going to use a 10-sided die, and we add their performance ratings of the aircraft. That's this 5 right here. So all 3 of them are 5s. And add the result of detection, which they don't have any result. So we're going to roll 3 times. Here goes for the Lag 3. He got a 4 plus 5. He's only a 9. That's good. All right, here comes this Yak 1. He gets a, it's a 1, and 5's a 6. Oh man, how lucky can I get on this one? All right, here we go. He got a 5, and a 5 is a 10. Okay, that's his 3. Now, my 3 fighters are coming in. I've got my ace. He already has Eagle Eyes. He gets a +1 and +2. He gets a +3 on his die roll. We use the blue die for these guys, so I can set this over there now. +3 for Stockel. Oh, he gets a 1. And 7 is 8. +3 is an 11. Wow, that didn't turn out like I thought. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wrong die. He's a 12-sider. I got to roll with the 12-sided die. Here we go. +3. He gets an 11. +3 is a 14. Now the next 2 guys are 10s. Nope, one of them's an 8. Okay, here we go with the 10-sided. My veteran. He gets +2. So he gets a 7. I rolled 11. +7 is 18. +3, he's a 20. Okay, here I roll a 7. plus 8 is 15, plus 2 is 17. And now this guy's an 8-sided. So if I roll a 9 or 10, I got to roll again. A 1. And 8 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So all 3 of my aircraft have advantage. Okay. So we're going to get, now, this is the only time we do the initiative. After that, we're all just based on our skill. And there's only 2 combat rounds in this round. All right. So in highest to lowest initiative order, each aircraft takes 1 action. All right. Now, because he is the highest rated, he has the freedom of action. He can attack whichever one he wants to, but they're all 3 equal. So there's really no advantage to me jumping like a bomber or something. If I chose to attack somebody else down here, then these guys I would stay on the board. Let's say there was a bomber down here and I chose to bypass these guys and attack here, then I would stay on the board and they would get a chance to attack me. So we're going to take our action. We're not going to bypass. I'm going to attack this guy right here. And my firepower, because I have that gondola, is an A and he's a B, but I'm attacking him. I'm just going to walk my way through this a little bit, make sure we don't mess something up. So we have a set of markers, and they're damage markers. There's quite a few. You can see they have different damage on them. So we're going to put them in the cup. We put them all in there. So as you can see, there's quite a few in the cup right there. All right, so I attack as an A, and I use my pilot experience. So what I'm looking for is to roll a higher, equal to, or greater than this hit number, which is a 6. But if I get an 8, I score 2 hits. So if I get an 8 or higher, so I'm going to roll my 12-sided die. This is my ace. What we need is a nice high number. Here we go. It is 11. I scored 2 hits. Okay. So now we have to determine damage. So we refer to the firepower rating, which mine is an A. Scores 1 or more hits on enemy aircraft, they draw a damage chip marker. Okay. So here we go. We're going to draw 2 of these chip markers. Here's the first one. There was 2 of them. I'll take the top one. And then we're going to draw a second one. Okay. Okay. One thing I want to show you. There's 20 of these damaged chits. There's an optional rule for these 2 that have green numbers on them. Those are more lethal. We are going to put those in there, and we take out 2 of the chits that have a 1, 2, 3 on them. 1, 2, 3. So I took them out. So it keeps the ratio the correct amount. It did not change anything that I did because I took that out after I did my drawing. So we don't have to redo anything there. All right. So I was just looking to see what I have to do there. All right, Kadeen, when a pilot scores. So here we look, and my firepower is an A. So this was the first one. So we have an A. That's 4 hits. So I got to put on a damage chit, which are over here. We keep track of the hits. So he's got 4 damage on him now. Okay, so we scored 4 hits with this chit right here. Now, the pilot of the aircraft receiving the damage rolls 1 of his skill level. So he's a 10. He's going to roll a 10-sided die. And the roll greater than the aircraft's accumulated damage equates to minor damage and the aircraft flies on. A roll less than or equal to the aircraft's accumulated damage flips it to its damaged side. Okay, so a 4 or less. Equal to or less. Nope. Yep, a roll less than or equal to. Here we go. A 2. Okay, it's less than or equal to. So we flip this over. He's now damaged. Okay, that was that set of hits. That immediately goes back in the cup. Now we have an A. We get 3 more hits on him. So he goes from a 4 to a 7. And he has to roll again. So I'm going to just look at this cumulative damage. Damage is cumulative and always remains with the aircraft. Okay, if he suffers 2 hits from an aircraft inflicts damage, he draws 2 damaged chits from the pool, getting a 1 and a 3 for 4 total damage. He draws 2 damaged chits from the pool, getting a 1 and a 3 for 4 total damage. The ace rolls a 7 on his D12, so continues with minor damage. In the next combat round, okay, so I should have added all these together. Doesn't change what happened, but so I had the 4 and a 3. He got 7 hits, and I rolled less, so he's damaged now. So I've damaged him. My ace peels off. His action is taken. Okay, here comes my next pilot. He's coming down here onto this guy too. He's going to try to get him. He wants to finish him off. So I got my 109G right here. He's coming in. He's going to roll a 10-sided die. He needs a 6 to hit. Okay, here we go. He gets, ew, it's an 8. All right, 2 more hits. So we go to the hit cup. And he gets the first one and the second one. So he scores, he's a B. He scores 3 hits and 3 more hits. That's 6 hits. That's more than the aircraft. He's only a 10, so he can't roll higher than that. So he shoots him down. So that is pilot I, Ivers, and he gets the victory. He swooped in. He gets his first victory. All right, that guy's gone. Damage marker comes back over here. He's destroyed, and Ivers goes to action taken. All right, now I got pilot K, which is Klein. He's going to attack this lag 3 right here and see if he can hit him. All right, here we go. He needs a 6 or higher to hit. He gets a 5. He missed. Okay. So he's done. These 2 guys, they don't have anything to attack. And we're going to go to the last combat round. Okay, I was just looking up the break-off rule, but that's only if a combat or a dogfight card tells us to do that. So we got to do initiative again. We're down to 2 Soviet fighters and 3 of the German fighters. So this time we roll, and they roll straight up. So here comes the lag 3, 10-sided die. He gets a 1, and 5 is a 6. Oh, got a break. And here comes the Yak 1. And he gets a 2, and 5 is a 7. Oh, got another break. Okay, here come the German fighters. We start with my ace. He's a 12. He gets a 3, and 7 is a 10. All right, now I got my 10-sided. That is Ivers. He got a 9 and 8. That's 17. Ooh, he's way up there. And then finally, I have my experience. He gets a 7 and an 8 is a 15. All right. So we're all set there. So here we come. We start up here. He's coming down onto this Yak 1. And he's going to take his shots. And he gets... He's a 6 or higher. He got a 1. He missed. Okay, so his action is taken. All right, here comes my experienced pilot. This is an 8-sided die, a 9 or 10. I have to re-roll. Oh, he got a 6. He scored 1 hit. Okay, so we're going to get a hit onto the Yak. And it is... He is a B, 3 hits. So he scores a 3. So we put 3 hits on him. That goes back into the die. And he's a veteran. And he rolls a 4. Okay, so it was damage, but nothing that caused anything. His action's done. Here comes Stockel. He's got his 12-sided die. He needs a 6 or an 8. 7. He scored 1 hit. So we're going to pull this hit. And he is an A. He scored 5 hits. Okay. So he scores 5 onto 3. That makes that an 8. So we'll put the 8 on there. And he needs to roll. He's a 10-sided. He got a 8, which makes him damaged. So he's damaged. That's it for Stockel. And these guys will finish up. So I damaged him, but I did not shoot him down. Man, if the first guy could have got the damage, I could have finished him off. All right. So the combat ends. Return all friendly aircraft back to their flight box. So he goes back. Here comes Stockel. Klein. He got destroyed. These 2 guys are going to go back into the box here. And victory points at some point for that. Okay. Now, that completed my first combat, but now we go back to the mission card. And we have to roll to see what happens here for the mission. So this was the event. Now we got the mission itself. Okay. So on the mission, we're on the flight event outcome table. We roll a D10. We're in row 2. And we get a 4. And this is enemy raid C5. Okay, so we got to go to table C. We go to C5. And there's an enemy raid table. So we roll a D6. And the D6 says 4. 3 fighters and 1 D3 plus 1 fighters. All right. So the X, we have to roll on the squadron table to see what squadron they're going to come from. It is squadron 3 is the number 236. So 236. We'll set the damage counters off to the side. Actually, let's not do that. Let's leave them in the bowl there. I have another that we'll use for the fighters. So this is going to be 236. We're going to put them in the cup. So there's going to be 3 of those to start with. All right. The first one is a veteran, Yak 1. All right. Then we're going to have another veteran, Yak 7B. That's a better fighter. And then we're going to have this top one is a Yak 1. Okay. And he is a experienced pilot. Then we have to do 1d3 plus 1 for X fighters. So we take this one and we get a 2, so that's 1. Plus 1 is 2. So there are going to be 2 fighters, and we got to roll for another squadron. And this squadron is number 2 is the 13th squadron. All right, and we draw 2. This is a LA5. He was a veteran. And another veteran LA5. All right. And then we're going to put all of those back in their slot over here. Okay. So we go on to chart D3 and we have to see who's going to have the initiative. So on D3, X. Okay, it's actually table B3, detection advantage check tables. This is the only time we do this. We roll a D10. And there are some modifiers. Each side adds a die roll modifier for highest pilot experience. I have a 12 with my pilot. They have a 10. So I get plus 3. And his is minus 2. So I'm at a plus 1 right now. Friendly experienced flight, all fighters, all enemy fighters, so we're even there. Note eagle eyes. So I have eagle eyes, so I get plus 1. So now I'm plus 2. Okay, so I get plus 2 on this die roll. Here we go. It's a 7. Plus 2 is a 9. Your flight spots the enemy. I can evade it or have combat with it. Plus 1 in the first round. There's only 2 rounds on this. So that's going to give me plus 1 on my initiative rolls for these guys. And I've got the better aircraft. So I can come in, try to hit these guys. We're going to have 2 rounds and then we'll be out of there. He's got 5 aircraft. Here we go. We're going to set them up. We'll start with his veterans in the LA5s. So he gets a 3 and 6. He's a 9. Here comes the next one. Oh, he gets a 1 and 6. That's a 7. That's good. Here's this Yak 7B. Oh, he got an 8 and 6. That's a 14. Now we got, all these guys are veterans right here. This is a Yak 1. He got a 9 and 5, 14. And then I have an 8-sided, this 8. So he's in a Yak 1. Rolled a 4 and a 5 is 9. So you got 2 right there. Okay, here I come. My ace, he is a 12-sided. He gets, 4 and a 7 is 11. Plus 2 is 13. Not high enough. Okay, here comes my veteran. 10-sided die. He gets a plus 1. Oh no, they all get plus 1. So he was a 12. Got 9 and 8, 17. Plus 1 is 18. That's good. And here comes my 8-sided die. Oh, 1 and 8 is 9 and 1 is 10. So he's there. Oh boy. Okay, we're going to have some. This will be interesting now. I mean, I got myself, maybe should have evaded all those fighters, but we're going to see if we can, what we can do to them. Okay, my fighter's jumping down here. He's going to hit this Yak 7B. So my veteran's going after his veteran. Here we go. At a 10-sided die, you get a 6 or higher. 1, nothing. So he breaks, he took his action. Now these guys are still here. They're coming after my ace. So his The better aircraft comes first. Okay, he needs a 6 or higher. He's coming after Stockel. Oh, he got an 8. He scored 2 hits on Stockel. First one. Uh-oh. And the second one. So he scores 3. He's a B. And 3. He scored 6 hits. So he gets a 6 on me. 6 on Stockel. Stockel's got a roll. He's got a 12-sided die. He gets, a 4. He's damaged. Stockel's in trouble. All right, he's done. He breaks off. Now their veteran comes in. He's firing at me. 10-sided die. He gets a 2. He missed. Okay, so he breaks off. All right, now I got Stockel, who's damaged. He's coming in. He's coming after this LA5 right here. Now, because I'm damaged, so on the planes, I could show you this. They're damaged. They went from that side to this side. He still needs a 6 to hit, but he needs a 10 if he's going to hit with 2 hits. He gets a 2. He missed. Okay, so Stockel, he's done. Now I got this 109's coming in here. He's firing at that LA5. This is an 8-sided die. He gets a 2. He missed. They're going to fire onto him now. So they're starting with the LA5's firing. He gets a 3. He missed. He'll peel off. Now, this Yak 1's firing. He's an 8-sided die. He got a 1. He missed. He's done, and they come off. Okay. So we go to the next round of combat. Here we go. Set up the, start with these veterans right here. His initiative 8 and 6 is a 14. Wow. All right. Got another one here. He's a 6 and 6. He's a 12. All right. Got another right here. He's a veteran. He's got a 2 and 6. He's an 8. That's good. Okay. I got a veteran. He's a 7 and 5. That's a 12. And now we got, this guy's an 8-sided die. That's a 9. Got to roll again. 6. 6 and 5's an 11. 10, 11. Okay. Here comes my ace. Ooh, boy, I'd like to break off if I could. Freedom of action, take no action. I need to get him. He needs a good roll. Here we go. He's a 6 now because he's damaged. He gets, oh my God, 6 and 1's a 7. He's at the bottom. He's probably going to get shot down. Okay, here comes my veteran. He gets a 2 and 8's a 10. And now my experienced pilot, a 6 and 8 is a 14. He's up here with this guy. Okay. So, when they're both up here like this, this sets us up for a head-on attack. So we're going to come back here in the rules. Head-on attack. Fighters and heavy fighters at aircraft in the same initiative space may conduct a head-on attack at the discretion of the higher experienced pilot. Okay, a non-human player will choose this option when available. So he's the higher experience, so he'll do that. Head-on combat is always simultaneous. So we're both going to fire. So he's going to roll first. He's the white die. My guy's the blue die, and it's an 8-sided die. So he scored a 7. I scored a miss. So he scores 1 hit on my plane. And it is, he's a B, 2 hits. So he scored 2 hits. get a 2 out here. Right here, we put a 2 on him. He's got a roll. And he gets, oh my gosh, it's a 1. He damaged him. In fact, I rolled a 1. That's a critical hit. So now, anytime you roll a 1 when you're doing damage, that is a critical hit. All right, so a natural 1 is considered a critical hit. It was on its undamaged side. It is immediately flipped to its damaged side, and another damaged chit is drawn. Okay. This one on a B is 3. So that's going to make him 5 hits now. Goes from 2 to 5. I have to make another damage roll. It's a 6. He survived. Okay. Passed it. All right. And they both come off. Action taken. All right. Here he comes. This guy is attacking here. He's a 6. He's attacking me. He gets a 2. He missed. All right. Comes off. This guy's attacking. He needs a 6. 8. He scored 2 hits. Oh, my 2 fighters are getting shot up here. First hit is 2. The second one is 3. So we scored 5 hits. All right, so we put a 5 on him. And he does his damage roll. And he is a 10-sided. 7. He escaped. Okay, he's done. All right. This guy's attacking me. He's an 8-sided die. He gets an 8. Dang it, 2 hits. All right, here we go. He got a 2 and a 4. There's one of those green ones. So 6 hits. That makes him an 11. But it flips him over to the damage side. I don't even have to roll. Okay. He's done. He's up here damaged. He's going to make a swing at this guy. He's damaged. All right, here we go. I need a 6 or a 10 to hit. A 1. He missed. Oops. He was damaged. This guy is now attacking my ace. And he gets a 6. He scores 1 hit. And the hit is 3. So it makes me a 9 now. I went from 6 to 9. I'm in trouble. I need a 10. 10! Oh, I got so lucky. We survived. This one comes off. That's it. That's the end of the combat. I survived. Oh my goodness. Wow. Got that lucky roll right there. All my planes are damaged. Okay, these guys go back. Let's see, 236, 230. Here's these 2 are in the 13 squadron. And these 3 go back to 236. Right there. Okay. Wow. All right. All 3 of my planes are damaged. They're back into current flight. I have this fate card. Return to base. The final round of combat is completed at the mission location. That's where I'm at. The player's flight is immediately returned to base without incurring any die rolls or in-flight event cards. The aircraft are required to land per the normal rules. So I'm going to play the fate card. And we're back home. My flight's home, but I got to land all three of them, and they're all damaged. Okay. So, wow. All three. Complete combat, mission aircraft landing. See, damage that must be repaired. Let's see. Landing the cauldron. And during the combat. Turn mission, calculate mission points. Okay, let's go to let's find the landing chart here. Landing table, here we go. We have heavy clouds, it's going to be a -1. And we roll with the pilot experience. So here comes Stockel. He's coming in at a -1. He got an 8. 2+ is safe. Stockel made it in. All right, here comes my veteran. 8, he's safe. And here comes, this is an 8-sided die. A 3, -1's a 2, he makes it. Boy, he just barely made it though. Okay, so we landed. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go to 15.1 in the rules. Place returning aircraft that have been flipped to their damaged side in the repair replace box. So I can take all the damage markers off of them. He's an 11. He's a 5. Okay. So all three of them went in the damage box. For aircraft that took minor damage, not flipped to their damaged side, remove the damage marker and place them in the ready box. Okay. Well, that's not those guys, they all took heavy damage. Okay, we go to chart E3. We're going to calculate our mission points. Enemy fighter damaged or destroyed. Oh, I had one damaged. I should have had him marked on there. I get 2 points for the destroyed one, and I had a damaged fighter, so I got 1 point for that. That was 3 points. So I earned 3. Nobody was shot down. Fighter damaged, I lose 1. I had 3 of them damaged, so I'm 0. So I netted 0 points. For all that, I netted 0 points. Enemy pilot killed or captured. I did not roll for that. Okay, I need to go back and look at that. I should have rolled for that guy when I shot him down. Let's see. Damage, rear gunner, bailout. When an aircraft from either side is shot down, the pilot crew must roll. He's a 10. He rolls a 10 and a 2. 1 to 3 results in the pilot crew failing to bail out, and they are KIA. Okay, so I get enemy pilot killed. GR 0, green is 0, so veteran I get 2 points. So I'm up to a 2 on my mission points. So my mission points are at 2 right now. Okay. So I have 2 on my mission points. Spend mission points per E1. Calculate mission points, spend mission points, maximum amount of negative campaign points. So I can spend and get 1 campaign point for one of those. I can repair an aircraft for one of them. I don't have to replace anybody. So I could spend 1 mission point and earn a campaign point, which I definitely need. And I could repair 1 aircraft. So let's see what we do here at the end. Gotta go to 15 again. All right, mission points. Spending them. Okay, we're gonna purchase. Let's see, draw dogfight. The players should always have at least 2 dogfight cards. I still got my 3. Dogfight. Purchase aircraft repair. The player may spend 1 MP to repair damaged aircraft. The aircraft is in the move it into the ready box on its undamaged side. If it is not on the turn track, flip it to its undamaged side. If it is on the turn track, flip it to its undamaged side. In the ready box with a pilot wounded or invading pilot marker, remove the marker and flip it to its undamaged side. So, the player may spend 1 movement point to repair a damaged aircraft. If the aircraft is in the repair replace, but that's where it told me to go at the end of the mission. Right. We ended the combat. 15.1. Mission complete. Place returning aircraft that have been flipped to their damaged side in the repair replace box. For aircraft that took minor damage, remove the damage marker and place them in the ready box. Okay. Repair aircraft may spend 1 movement point to repair a damaged aircraft. If the aircraft is in the repair replace box, move it to the ready box on its undamaged side. If it's on the turn track, flip it to its undamaged side. We weren't on the turn track. So I would say I spend 1 movement point and I get a campaign, and I spend 1 mission point and I get my ace back. Stockel, they repair his. He's ready to go. Okay. I don't have any banked points. Optional pilot advancement. We're not going to get that. Draw post mission card. Here we go. Hiding in plain sight. Play this card to generate a no result on the flight event check table. The card must be played before rolling on B2. Okay, so I can keep this post mission card. Okay. And then advance the turn track. So we advance 1 turn. All right. Well, that's 1 turn. A lot went on. I got tangled with a bunch of fighters. I probably should have evaded them and went ahead with my mission and looked for a smaller flight. So I lesson learned on that one. That was for sure. I got lucky with the 9th Guards that they didn't tear me up. I just caught their veterans up there that time. So, all right. That's a good first turn. I think everything went all right. We'll post it up. We'll see how it looks. And as always, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you please give me a thumbs up and like my video. All right, I'll see you guys for the next one.